And good afternoon to you all, and welcome to this week's Finance in 15, our weekly regular webinar program where we are helping you to master the money in your business. So let's kick off with this week's content. This week we are talking about how to set clear financial goals. One of the most important pillars of you building financial freedom, financial success, financial stability is having really super clear financial goals of what you want to achieve in your business. I'm just checking to see if we are appearing live in the group. Bear with me. Okay, we are live. Excellent. Okay, so yes, we're talking about clear financial goals because it's such an incredibly important part of your business. So good afternoon, Rebecca. Nice to see you. And good afternoon, Yvonne. Hello, hello, hello. So please do comment and join in. Let me know you are there. It's lovely to know I'm not talking to the empty universe. And if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay and let me know you're there. It's always great to know who's watching these things. So let's kick off. Usual rules apply for these weekly webinars. The idea is a short and punchy topic that you can learn something and go and implement it straight into your business. So please take notes and take action and make a change in your business. Okay, so here's the thing that I've noticed over 20 years now of working with small businesses. Most business owners do not have clear financial goals for what they want to achieve. Unless they're in clear financial goals, many don't have any financial goals. Now, sometimes it doesn't start that way. Sometimes you start off with these big plans and dreams and ideas and hopes. And over the years, you kind of get ground into the treadmill and it just becomes about kind of getting through the day, getting through the week, getting through the month and the year, and then just waiting to see what you ended up with. Now, we really believe in turning that on its head and helping our clients to get massively clear on what they want their financial goals to be so they've got something very specific to work towards. So I wonder if you can maybe put in the comments whether you have got your financial goals sorted out and whether you have got that level of clarity yet. And then when we do see people who have got goals, they do tend to be quite vague. So there are things like, oh, well, you know, I just don't want to have to struggle. I want to pay the mortgage. I want to, you know, just quite vague. You know, I want to be able to have a nice life. I want to be able to pay the bills. But there's no clarity in that, which means it's very hard to know exactly what you need to do to achieve it, which is where the clarity really has to come into play. So you might say, well, so what? Why does it matter if I have or haven't got any clear financial goals? And, you know, lots of people stumble around for many years without them, perfectly happily, maybe. But this isn't about people who want to stumble around quite happily. This group is for people who want to take control of their financial future and who want to master the money in their business. So I know that you want more than that, because if you don't have really clear financial goals, you're not going to accidentally end up where you want to be. You're not going to suddenly stumble into your perfect life. You're not going to stumble into financial freedom. And I'm sure everyone watching this knows that business is bloody tough. It's not a walk in the park. Things rarely fall in your lap. And we need to really plan for what we want to achieve to make sure we've got the best possible chance of building that financial freedom and the life that we're looking for. Because quite frankly, who wants to work this hard and not get the life and security that we really want? I know I don't. If I'm going to work this hard, I want a plan and I want to know where I'm going with it. So the thing about not having clear financial goals is you don't know what you're aiming for, and therefore you don't know what action to take. So when you sit down each Monday or each day in your business, or you start each new month or new quarter, if you haven't got that clarity of where you're heading, how can you possibly know what actions you need to take? Answer is you can't. You're going to end up being very responsive to your inbox, to social media, to other people's demands of you, but you're not going to be putting your goals at the top of the agenda. And what I see in clients all the time is that people go round in circles for years and years and years. They've got these big plans, they've got these big dreams, but they never take action on them because they haven't broken them into clear and specific financial goals. So they just become these big, vague ambitions of what they want to achieve. And you kind of spending your days, weeks, months, years on other people's agendas. because your agenda hasn't gotten to the top. You haven't got enough clarity about your own agenda to know where you want to be. And I can promise you, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of companies in the last 20 years, that is not going to get you financial freedom for sure. Just trying to look at the comments here. Right. So I hope that gives you an idea of why, not having financial goals isn't a great thing. It's fine if you don't really care where you're going. It's fine if you're happy to accept wherever you happen to end up. It's not fine if you really want to achieve something very specific. And this goal setting idea is so important that it's one of the very first things that we do with our clients and that we do inside the F Word Academy. We make sure that the first pillar, the first program, the first module is get clarity on your financial goals. So what are these clear financial goals going to actually give you? It will give you a really powerful vision that gives you a clear direction of travel. If you know where you're heading, you start to see things differently, you see new opportunities, and it just means that you are super clear on where you're headed to. And that can really help to guard against distraction and interruption and people knocking you off course. It also gives you faster and easier decision making, because if you're really clear on where you want to go, when opportunities come up, sometimes they're a red herring, sometimes they're an opportunity. But if you're clear on where you want to go, it's a much easier accept or reject decision. If something comes up that needs deciding, you can go, there's a great book called Will It Make the Boat Go Faster, which you may have read. It's a very good book about saying, is this going to take me towards my goal? Yes or no. If it's a no, we don't do it. We don't get distracted by that. We stay very focused on what we want to achieve. And when you've got that clarity of where you want to go, you really do kind of lock into a groove and you just get a real pace and momentum around progressing those financial goals. It also gives you a lot of motivation and drive. If you know exactly where you want to be and you can taste it, you can feel it, you're really excited and motivated by reaching it, it gives you so much more motivation and drive to keep going and to do those routine discipline things that they need doing. Business success is more about consistency of doing the right things than it is about anything else. It's very much, people think it's about the big break or the big product or the big idea. They're important, but the biggest key to success is consistency of action on the right things. And if you don't know what the right things are because you haven't got your goals straight, you're not going to be taking the right kind of action. And it's something that it needs to be so powerful and so exciting and so compelling that you are prepared to take massive action. You are prepared to do whatever it takes for you to reach those goals. So again, if you've got kind of a wishy-washy idea, or if you haven't really got a clear route, what kind of massive action are you going to be able to take? The answer is you're probably not. And it really does build your belief and confidence that you can achieve the life you want. And especially if you may have been going around in circles for years, or you've been flogging away at your business for years and haven't really got where you want to be, getting this clarity of goal, this clarity of where you want to go, it can really boost your confidence and your belief and your drive that you really are capable of achieving this stuff. And when you've got those clear goals, it actually gives you a financial roadmap to follow. You map out the milestones, you know exactly what you're trying to achieve, and it helps you to literally say, well, I need to show up and do this next thing, and do this next thing, and do this next thing. It creates literally a map of how to get there. And it really does give incredible focus and purpose and energy. And you may have seen that we've got a live event next Thursday with Darren Toms. And Darren Toms has been a client of mine for many years now, and he's really embraced this. And he's got, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone with quite so much focus and drive as Darren, but it's come from this clarity of his goals. It's really made such an incredible difference to his business. So I really hope you'll tune in for that and get booked onto it. Now, here's the thing, linking your personal goals to your financial goals. This is something we see a lot in businesses, and we now make it a core part of our program and how we train our clients. Most people have got their personal and their business goals disconnected. They're two separate things. You go to work, you go to your business, and you're working on the business numbers, you're working on the business plan, and then you go back home and then you've got this whole thing going on at home, your home finances. As a business owner, they're kind of the same thing. It's all one interlocked thing, because the only way, unless you're going to inherit something or win the lottery, the only way we can build that financial freedom is by connecting up our personal life with our business life and saying that my business is the thing that gives me my personal goals. It can only come from your business. So you've got to be crystal clear on what your personal financial goals are. So when I'm talking about goals, I don't just mean business goals. I really mean the root, the heart of it all, what you want, what your family wants for your future. And that might be the house you want to live in, when you want to retire, how much money you want, what sort of holidays and treats and trips, the lifestyle you want to live. You know, if you want to give back and do philanthropy, and if you want to, anything you want to do in your life, it's got to come from this personal side of what we want. Most people set their business financial goals looking at the business in a bubble, in isolation away from their personal life. So it's so important that you link the two together in your head. The business and the personal are all one thing, because one has to drive the other. And your business is just the vehicle to give you that financial freedom and security in the future. So incredibly important that you really get the connection between these two things and don't see them as two separate things. So here's a question though, how do we come up with really clear and exciting financial goals? Because the traditional routes are, you need to do a budget. Now, I'm an accountant. I quite like budgets, but they're not interesting and they're not exciting. And it's just kind of like quite not brain dead process, but a kind of a non-exciting, dull, I've got to do the budgets. It doesn't fill you with excitement and joy, but actually planning your financial future should fill you with excitement and joy. So think about here where the two things have to connect, home and business. You come up with your vivid vision for your life, and then you make your business fit to how that's going to deliver that for you. And it flips it over and it makes it then exciting, and it makes you want to do whatever is needed to achieve those goals and dreams. So I came across this thing called Vivid Vision about 2 or 3 years ago, I think. And I just heard it on a podcast, on the Mindvalley podcast, and it just blew me away. I was out walking and I had to keep stopping taking notes on my phone the whole time. It just blew me away with the simplicity and power of it all. And it was unlike anything I'd ever heard before around planning or goal setting. And it galvanized me so much that I went and got mine really sorted. And I've introduced this to every client I've ever worked with. And they've all been like, yeah, oh my God, I get it. It's so exciting. And they've gone away and created their visions. And again, Darren Toms is talking to us about this week, talking about this with us next week as well, because he'd done his Vivid Vision. He did it probably about a year ago. He's published it. He's issued it to all his suppliers, his staff, his customers, and it guides the entire business. So it gives you incredible clarity, and it's something that we now introduce to all of our clients. It's again a core part of our academy program as well, because once people get excited about financial freedom, what it means to them, what money is going to mean for them, how money will be the enabler for their life, it injects an incredible amount of passion and energy into your business and into the financial side of things. So it gives you a step-by-step process to actually go about putting your vivid vision and your plan for your life and your business together. So it's very structured. And again, there's a book to go with it. And the book is very clear in laying out exactly how you put this into place. And it's just simple but powerful. And what I really loved about it was it's set by the leader of the company. Now, if you think about a lot of business plans or business strategies, what happens? Everyone gets together in the boardroom, or maybe we do an away day. And between everyone, you hammer out a compromised version of the vision of the business. It's a vision by committee. Now, the guy who's written this book, Cameron Howard, and I believe that vision has to come from the leader. It's personal. It's about you, your life, your future, your vision, your dreams. You set that vision, and by default, it's going to be so much more exciting than a vision by committee. You set the tone, you set the vision, and then you paint a picture so vivid, so precise that everyone in your business knows exactly what is required and they know exactly where they're going. And it increases engagement incredibly because they've got something really powerful and exciting to hang on to. They can get on board, they can see what it'll mean for them and their life, and it gets everyone excited. And I'm sure anyone who's running a business with staff know that's a big part of the battle, getting your team on board with what you want to do. So the key learnings from this very short session on goal setting are that most business don't have clear financial goals. And without those financial goals, you simply don't know what you're aiming for. And if your financial goals in your business are separate to your financial goals at home, and if at home you're just thinking, well, one day, hopefully, when the business is making more money, we can X, Y, Z, flip that on its head. Start with what you want and then work out how your business is going to give it to you. That's the way around we've got to get this. And if you want specific financial results and you're not prepared to just end up with what you end up with, then you need a specific plan. Vague and hapless isn't going to get you there. Those clear goals will give you focus, purpose, energy, drive, and motivation. And they will bring your team on with you so that they're all working in the same direction. And then use the vivid vision. You may have your own way, and that's absolutely fine. However you get to your goals, I don't mind. But the vivid vision, get the podcast. If you Google Vivid Vision podcast, you'll be able to find it. There is a link in the post I put up this week about Vivid Vision. And use it. Read the book, listen to the podcast. It will excite you. And I think especially right now, some businesses are flying and they're really busy. Some businesses are maybe shut down. Some businesses are somewhere in between and struggling. We've come through a very difficult year. It's a great time now to get clarity and get renewed clarity on that vision. Get excited again about what you want your business to achieve, and lift your mindset out of the kind of current mode of struggle and difficulty that we're all going through. Those exciting financial goals will keep you incredibly motivated and driven towards what you want to achieve. So I only ran a minute over today. I'm getting better at this. So that is financial goal setting. If you've got any questions now for me, please drop them in the comments field. Otherwise, feel free to comment on it afterwards and I'll come back and answer those for you. Next week, we are talking about, on the Finance in 15 webinar, getting out of stress. Now, I think stress is something we can all relate to anyway, running a business, certainly in the last year or so. And it's something I know a huge amount about because I spent most of my life in a state of chronic stress. And I've had a lot of illness directly because of that stress. So I have done enormous amounts of coaching and research and study around the best ways to keep out of stress, and also really understanding what stress does to your physiology and how it directly impacts how successful your business can be. So I hope you'll come and join me for that. I've got some tips and hints and just some stuff around keeping out of stress so you can keep incredible focus on your business, because remember what we're here for. We want to build financial freedom. We want to make sure our businesses are giving us exactly what we want for our life. And that means we need to do something more than most people, because most small businesses only just survive. In fact, most small businesses fail. And I want different. I want better than that for all of you. I want you to have a life you love, financial freedom. So I can't see any questions coming in. So I am going to bid you all a very good Friday afternoon. And please join in the group. Let me know what you're up to. It's really good to hear what's going on for everybody. And I'll see you in the group next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.